Losing awareness in Valorant isn't all that different to losing awareness in real life. As easy as it is to tunnel vision our crosshair and forget about our minimap, it's just as easy to tunnel vision our Valorant progression and forget about our mental, physical, and financial health. If this is your first time checking out the Zasko2 channel, I upload a weekly video documenting my journey to both Radiant in-game as well as in real life. This week, the mission is simple. We need to regain our awareness and direct our focus with the bigger picture in mind. Just because our Valorant progression has skyrocketed and we've been ranking up once a week doesn't mean that we can suddenly forget about our gym, meditation, and financial progression. This week comes with a bunch of brand new corrective measures and subsequently a bunch of brand new progression. How far do we go? I don't know, you'll have to find out. Another week down, we're at week 20 now. What does that mean? Are we going to celebrate? No, we do not celebrate, as that is harmful to our dopamine receptors. However, it is Wednesday, so we're up at 5 AM ready for our weekly coaching session with Dopai. Coming into this week though, I'm not mucking around at all, okay? I've taken corrective measures. I went on my phone, turned on screen time, blocked all communications after 6:45, as well as every single app. I completely wiped my ability to use YouTube from my phone, as there's no reason to. Not only that, but I also took away Google privileges as well. To make it completely secure, I made my mum set the screen time password, so I have absolutely no control over this phone anymore. All it does is call people, tell me what direction to go in, and I can use it to record, I guess, okay? This is how we fix our dopamine receptors. Anyways, back to our call with Dopai.
So in this case, when you're fighting spawn, you could say I'm holding spawn. We didn't actually comment anything. The alternative is you could reposition to hold his waterfall. He doesn't know what's going on and you haven't said a word.
Yep.
That you're holding his spawn. That's very, very important. Oh, I have spawn, I have waterfall. You gotta calm this stuff.
Starting off basic, it was mid-round comms. My ability to coordinate and communicate with my team while I was simultaneously focusing on killing people, it just wasn't good enough. However, from there, Dopai made one of the greatest discoveries of all time surrounding my Valorant gameplay.
One guy backside. Okay, we don't see the guy backside. Yeah, we got caught off guard. A Radiant level duelist would see that breach and then scale on him. This Omen actually isn't a threat yet, so that might have been a timing for you to check minimap real quick. Then here, you peek out. Maybe we could have like tucked behind the box first, get your bearings, look at minimap, and then continue scaling. So far, that seems to be the big focus for this upcoming week, in my opinion. Just increasing our awareness so that we can make better decisions.
This is something that the previous coach, Coach Oscar, actually tried to explain as well. However, I just somehow forgot about it and the problem's only gotten worse since. This week, we need to put our full focus on finding times to check the minimap between rounds, checking the minimap before we exit onto site, and overall, just being 100 times more aware of my surroundings and not just full focusing on killing people.
Crosshair placement on the stairs guy is kind of bad, I'm going to be honest with you. Definitely need some work. But notice how when you swing into Havent, we're not actually that ready for it. I want you to be a little bit more intentional with this. I just want you to see how intentional he is with his crosshair placement before he peaks, and he has those pauses here. We need to develop a methodical way to angle clear, and this round in particular, we've already seen 2 instances where that wasn't the case.
And of course, the final point that Dopai left me with was my crosshair placement, something I'm definitely excited to work on. Now, 6:35 means end of the call, start of our journey towards work. On my break, I do smash out our mackerel fish, get the vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids, before coming home and having some creatine, iodine drops, as well as alpha GPC. So you know, of course, that means we're warming up for Valorant. Starting off with the focus training, then our physical warm-up, then we wash the dead skin off our arms to make sure that the friction is exactly the way we like it, hop onto aim labs and do the ramp warm-up. We're feeling peak at this point. However, I decided to spend a little bit of extra time in the range because I've edited the last 2 days and I'm probably a little bit washed. But once I was feeling good, hey, we're getting straight into our deathmatch, of course. Not focusing on anything to improve on, as we just want to practice getting into that flow state so we can just play our games and just headshot everyone. This is where we left off. Ultimate challenge, try not to throw our elo in the first few days as we warm back up to play. Yeah, so to start off our first game of the week, we get an AFK Neon. However, she was making sure that she wouldn't get kicked by moving her mouse constantly.
Bro's D ranking.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, you can imagine this was a great way to start my week.
Of course he is.
Oh yeah, he voted. Yeah.
He's been here the whole time. Now, of course, I don't let that whole situation bother me too much because we're going straight into our second game. We get sunset, all right? We know what we're doing on this map. So much so that we finished the defense half 7-5. Absolutely smashed it. Going into the attack, it started off all right. However, things started to get a little bit intense. We didn't develop any kind of lead and the scores were neck and neck right through to the end. Now, of course, we're stoic and we don't let the pressure crumble us, but our teammates... Well, we're solo queuing. What do you expect?
Oh my god, man.
Bro,
why are you just liking mid-clips? You know?
Like, play with the...
The team fell to pieces and so did our chance at winnings. So queuing into sunset, this is our time to redeem ourselves. Now we finished the first half of the game 7-5 once again. So we're in the exact same position as last game. However, this time things go a little bit differently and we end up steamrolling, like legit steamrolling the enemy team. I don't think they won a single defense round. After getting my rank back, I decide to call it for Valorant for the day. I get some sunlight while I cook up a barbecue, smash out a few chores that need to get done, and then I get stuck into 15 minutes of deep meditation. It's probably not deep. My meditation is probably very shallow compared to some professionals, but I'm trying to get there. All right. It's time for Kovacs. Now, not only have I strategically positioned my aim training after meditation so that I'm more focused and I learn faster, but while I aim train, I'm super focused on my technique. Still just going for straight lines and not over flicking, as that's the most important thing for me to get down at the moment. 30 minutes of aim training done. Let's find something else to do. Let's hop into a custom and just practice our crosshair placement. You guys gotta just listen to the ambient noise that I'm listening to. Like, this is so peaceful. I'm just like practicing my crosshair placement, but something so relaxing about just listening to nothing. It's like almost silent. There's a little bit of ambient noise. Alright, put the music back on. Okay, wait, fresh idea. What I'm gonna do is also practice looking at my minimap. Now at this point, my mechanics were feeling peak. I'd been practicing my crosshair placement, my aim, we played our comp, like I was just feeling really good at this point. So I hop into a deathmatch and I just keep practicing my mechanics there. I actually end up experimenting with a dot crosshair, as I think it does just help be a bit more precise, but it takes focus. So I'm always one to do difficult things for benefits in return. But after seeing how good my mechanics were, now that I was fully warmed up and back in the groove, I just couldn't help but play another competitive game. I probably had a lot of better things that I should be doing, but comp was just the choice I made. But I think that I compensate with a good performance, like a really good performance. I didn't actually realize my mechanics were getting so much better. And now the dot crosshair as well. Maybe this is just me warmed up now, but the dot crosshair feels like it's actually so much better as well. We absolutely stomp the first half of the game 8-4. However, swapping over to attack side is our opportunity to make coach proud. As you can see, first of all, I was absolutely abusing the power positions, and so much so that we end up winning our pistol and anti-eco. On our first buy round, I was making use of the minimap, following Sova drones out and trying to understand what he's cleared so I don't have to re-clear him. But besides the fact that we absolutely ran down the enemy team, overall it was really good and we ended up walking away with a win. A win that I forgot to record the end of, so you don't get to see the numbers go up, but they did, I promise.
He's in smoke, left side. He's coming out to the left.
Yeah, well, I actually found my first cheater in Valorant. I didn't even know these existed. Like, Valorant has more control over my computer than I do, but I was actually super happy to see that the game ended up getting cancelled early because they caught him and banned him. When a cheater gets banned from your game, it's as if the game never happened, so once again, a bit of a waste of time. So you know what? I decide to course correct, alright? I finish my lamb for the day and I get straight into a home gym session. Today's Wednesday, my rest day, because last week I said that Monday, Tuesday I was gonna go to the gym, but I didn't because I suck, alright? I suck at going to the gym and I need to figure that out ASAP. Today's workout, it was an arm day. I did forearms, shoulders, biceps, everything arms. I have 9 minutes until cutoff. I'm making the most of it. Let's get some more crosshair placement practice in. I do end up spending 9 minutes just running around Havent, just trying to really refine my crosshair placement, putting as much focus as I can, despite being tired. But once hitting 7 o'clock, I swapped to candlelight, but now I've got a corrective measure that's probably gonna freak everyone out again. Thickened cream, or heavy cream in America. It's literally just liquid fat. If we want to bulk up and be a Chad while simultaneously having an unlimited source of energy with convenience and price effectiveness, we have found the carnivore meta. I've probably had it 3 days now and my skin's cleared up, my energy's gone up, and I just feel amazing. I feel like I finally hit that 1-to-2 protein to fat ratio. Combine that with a brand new type of magnesium that I've been taking. I swapped from citrate to glycinate, and it has a little bit of chelate to help with absorption. Either way, this has skyrocketed my sleep quality through the roof. Not only that, but my phone screen time brute forces me to wind down at 7 o'clock. I've got no choice. Entering a brand new day, I'm off to the gym. However, I do have to bring you back a couple days to a delivery that arrived in the mail, which is actually our first purchase of the Zasko 2 fund, which ended up being a whoop band, tracks stress, tracks sleep, tracks workout, tracks everything, does really cool stuff. But I just needed to let you guys know that I was wearing it going into this gym session so we can look at the data. So anyways, getting back to the gym session, just kidding. As always, I'm just going to quickly mention that the Zasko 2 fund is made up of the money that I make from YouTube. The way it works is I've got my YouTube revenue that I'm putting towards it, but I've also got the Ko-Fi set up so that anyone can join and support the channel. With that, they have the ability to vote on what the money is spent on. That's the whole idea, is that we've got a Discord set up. Everyone has a bit of a discussion, puts some ideas, puts our heads together, and then we do a big vote and voila, we pick something to buy. I reckon at the end of this month, we'll do another vote and see what we can come up with. We've already got another 230 bucks saved up, so I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. However, to woo you guys even more, I make it super worth it, all right? I've been trying my best to post some kind of extra content throughout the week. I've given everyone access to the growth measurement system, as well as the Zasko 2 spreadsheet, so you can keep up with my own statistics, as well as use the template to track your own progression. The dream is to one day do this full time. However, right now we're in phase 1, and I'm just gonna reinvest every single dollar back into the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to be a part of that, the link is below, okay? Yeah, that's all I've got to say, all right? Back to the gym. I promise nothing. Gym session, let's go. I'm yet to find a way that I can balance recording my sets as well as recording my whoop workout. They kind of conflict, and I haven't really found a solution to that yet, but I'll put my head to it. But check this out, guys. Accountability, okay? Now we can actually see the data. Anyone that's curious if I'm going hard enough, we now know. There's no hiding. And I'm not gonna lie, knowing this, it actually pushed me to go harder on my gym sets. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't an amazing workout. I did chest and lats, and that's kind of it. But from there, I head to work. I smash down my mackerel, and then on my way home, get some lamb chops that I fry up as soon as I get home. Next up on the chopping block is creatine, alpha GPC, and iodine drops. Smashing that, getting the focus up, and then getting stuck into our Valorant grind. You hear it 5 times a video, but guess what? Focus training, physical warm-up, ramp warm-up, deathmatch. However, I will note that for some reason, my tracking has gotten a lot better, and I have no idea why. I have not practiced it at all, but it's just doing its thing. Queuing into the first competitive game of the day, I decided to step outside of my comfort zone and try and play Reyna. To say that it started off pretty rough would be an understatement. I was kind of hoping that this would just be a magical answer to hitting Radiant overnight, but no, it wasn't. It just felt like I was playing a foreign version of Jet that kind of had the same role, but it was just a different agent, so I've got to learn all these new concepts, and I just couldn't focus on the things that I was meant to be focusing on because I'm learning a new agent. So this was a bad idea. Scratch that. Well-deserved loss. Back to Jet, I was super comfortable, and you can see that within the pistol round. However, comfort and performance are very different things, and for some reason I just couldn't really perform throughout this game. You know what, now that I think about it, it's probably because I'm not Immortal Complete on the Voltaic benchmarks yet. That'll definitely do it. Alright, third competitive game, we're getting a scent. This is exactly what we want. We just play the power positions, we check the minimap, easy win, easy win. I actually do check the minimap. Right before I run out of the smoke, I check the minimap. This is insane. I've never done this before. I'm following a Skydog out, so I know not to clear left and right because it's already been cleared. I really can't believe I just never looked at the minimap. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this feels so much better. I feel so much more aware of what's going on in the game. Check this one out, alright? I know that I missed the smoke. I 100% missed the smoke, but I don't care. It's the intention that counts. I throw the smoke and then I check the minimap while I'm on site. I have never checked minimap in the middle of site in my life. Just to really solidify this point, I actually do it again without missing the smoke this time. Now, this is next level. This is next level, guys. We're evolving. And you know what the cherry on top is? Playing the power position and just holding the Havent flood. Anyways, we smashed the attack half, and coming onto defense, we just kept that momentum going. One thing that I did try my absolute hardest to do was play active and not passive, and that's something that I do very often on SENS specifically. I just feel really comfortable pushing A main and B main, but yeah, just not sitting back on site and rather trying to take space so that we know what's going on the map. I finished that game at 4 o'clock, which is important to note because the following clip is at 6:45. 6:45, I got 15 minutes. Let's get some aim training in. Part of the reason why I ended up not recording in that time was just because I kind of felt like I hit a bit of a wall. I kind of discovered that there's a massive fundamental flaw in the way that I'm working this series at the moment, and it's basically just that making the videos goes against what the videos are about. The idea is not to spend all day every day on Valorant and to have a really well-balanced life. However, behind the scenes, up until now I've been putting about 20 hours a week more into editing these videos. If the grind does consist of about 15 plus hours, altogether I could be looking at like 40 hours a week just on my computer alone. Add work into the equation because I don't make any money from YouTube, and suddenly I don't have the most balanced life, I'm not gonna lie. However, the point of conflict in my mind is that one day I could make enough money to replace work altogether and this be my job. But for now, I just have to sacrifice and live an unbalanced life, and that's just, I don't know, it's something I'm stuck on at the moment. But I did come up with some corrective measures to try and bring some more balance into my life. First of all, I think that I've proven to myself that I can progress off 3 games a day and that I don't actually need any more. Reason being is because I have a super optimal warm-up routine and I've just got pretty high energy in general, so when I go into my first game, it's not like it's a warm-up game, like I'm playing at my peak. If I cap my games at 3, by the time I do some aim training afterwards for half an hour, which I'd once again put a cap on that as well, I'm only putting about 3 or so hours into gaming per day, which I think that is pretty reasonable. However, once I start going beyond that, I do an hour of aim training or I do 4 or 5 or 6 games. Not only do I play an extra 3 hours worth of games, but I have to edit those games as well, which suddenly ramps up my time dramatically. So from this point onwards, I'm going to do my warm-up, my 3 games, half an hour of aim training, and I'm going to call it at that. In terms of actually editing the video, I'll try be less of a perfectionist, I'll try waste less time, be more efficient, find smarter solutions to the way I'm doing things, and hopefully I can actually I want to try to get that down to 10 hours. If I can edit my video in 10 hours, that's sweet. Now, I'm not taking time off for the sake of just doing nothing. I want that time to go towards physical health, mental health, more meditation, spending time with my partner, spending time with family, maintaining a cleaner house, being more organized in general. There's still some things on my to-do list, like make my Ko-Fi look nice that I haven't done yet, and it's just simply because I don't have the time. So yeah, that's my little tangent over. Anyways, I woke up at 5 AM deciding that the smartest thing for me to do would be to smash out 1 hour's worth of editing before work. What I'm going to do this week is just track every single minute that I spend editing so I can really understand how much time I'm putting towards it. Anyways, from there, it's off to work where I eat my fish. Alright, I'm home. Barbecue's preheating. I'll do the focus training while I do that. This is time efficiency, guys. Time efficiency. So as the barbecue's doing its thing, it's a perfect amount of time for me to smash out my focus training. From there, I eat my lamb chops and get fueled up for a physical warm-up. Once again though, while I was doing my ramp warm-up and getting my mechanical training done, I'm not even practicing my tracking. I don't know how this is happening. I ended up destroying another tracking score, which is just so confusing to me because I literally have not touched tracking. My death matches go really well, and I get G'd up for my first competitive game of the day. Jet was insta-locked, so I ended up playing Reyna. Let's try that again. Death matches went so well, guys. I'm getting so G'd up for my first competitive game. We end up getting Havent, and we're playing Jet as per usual, and my mechanics were feeling crisp. Following drones out with our dash active has definitely become super subconscious and just second nature. Not only do I actively look at what util is being thrown, but sometimes I'll consciously wait for that util to be thrown. As we switch halves, we were down 2 points. It was like a 5-7 half. Switching to defense and whipping out the AWP, we end up just wiping the floor. We actually wiped the floor with the enemies. Now, since we want to put some corrective measures in place, technically despite our first game being absolutely atrocious, this is still our 3rd game for the day. If nothing changes, nothing changes, and I just have to stay disciplined and stick to that. From a game sense standpoint, this game was textbook according to Dopai's coaching, popping dash to make space, but doing so by getting a kill, and then of course going for our power position every single time. However guys, I won't lie, from a mechanical standpoint, I think our aim training is definitely starting to pay off. Despite being absolutely kill hungry, I was definitely doing so within reason. If Reyna wants to fight backside, I'll fight backside with you, bro. Don't stress. However, the confidence was definitely surging, and once I started, I just couldn't stop. But don't be fooled. Somehow we ended up in a 7-12 position. I have no idea. Dude, I actually don't even know how this is happening. But as you guys know, we've definitely transcended the fear of loss, so I keep giving it my all, and I actually end up playing some of the best Valorant I think I've ever played in my life.
Two shower. Nice, all three. Nice. Nice shot.
Oh, let me get last one. Despite getting my first ever 6-kill ace, it wasn't enough to bring the game back, I won't lie, and we ended up losing, but I went out smiling, alright? I went out smiling. Alright, absolutely no time wasted. Let's get straight into our aim training session, and then I'm gonna get my life on track, guys. I'm gonna get my life on track. IRL Radiant. The first 20 minutes of my aim training goes to the same thing as always, straight lines and no over flicking. I've got 10 minutes left of aim training. We'll do the benchmarks and we'll see if we can get some more mortal scores. I don't have all the time in the world. I only end up going for 2 scores. The first one being angle shot. I just needed to get a score above 1,000. Bang. Just like that. Just like that. And the second one was mini phase, where I needed to get a score over 1250, I believe. There we go. Okay, I'm done. I'm hopping off, I promise. We're refreshing the page, alright? 2 brand new immortal scores. We gotta get this whole thing purple. Following up our strenuous aim training, the most responsible thing to do is our stretches. And I just stretch my fingers in every direction. After that, I eat the rest of my lamb, smash out 30 minutes of editing, and then I decide that I really want to try and just destroy a singular muscle. As of right now, I feel like one of the things that's holding me back from giving my all in every single exercise is that I'm probably shooting too far. I feel like when I look ahead and I know I've got to do another 5 exercises, to really give my all to the one I'm currently doing sometimes just doesn't click in my mind, and unfortunately I don't end up giving it my all. However, this case is different. I've said all I'm going to do is bicep curls. So after that first warm-up set, I up the weight and I end up giving it my absolute all. This is a level of failure that I just don't reach when I'm doing my massive gym sessions. Maybe a good idea is to just honestly start small, have this be the standard and master it, and then add another exercise from there. So maybe I'll do biceps and triceps, but they both have to be to that standard. It's like, they have to be to that standard or I don't do them at all. But with this exercise, I go harder than I've ever gone on a single exercise before. Technically 5 sets, including the warm-up set. But hey, if we burn fuel, we must drink more fuel, okay? That is the way it works. It's kind of just like drinking milk, you know? It's just like, I don't know. It's not even that bad at all. But once again, same as the OMAD diet, it's just full experimental. Like if it doesn't work, I'm open to that. I'm just trying random things and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. I end my night with a bit more journaling and then wake up at 5 AM with another perfect sleep down. After 4 days of work, I usually feel pretty exhausted by the Saturday, and that's where we're at now. So I decided, you know what, we'll take a different approach and I'll just try and do a half-an-hour meditation session in the morning. From there, the next thing I ended up doing was a bit of a research session. Since changing from the burger cheese, which was a really cost-effective option, to my current diet, which is very expensive, I need to start getting a bit more creative with, I guess, my methods of saving money. An example would be leveraging the thickened cream to not have to buy fatty cuts of meat, as well as figuring out if I'm having more fish than I even need. But either way, the recovery for the day continues as there's absolutely no grinding today. In fact, this is actually a pretty unique day. I fill up my cooler bag with some ice packs, make my way to the shops, and I stock up on a whole bunch of lamb. I found a half-size thickened cream that I may or may not drink on the way to the city. Just kidding, I literally drank the whole thing, like 300 ml. And I can report that the sensations I felt were probably about 15 minutes of like a bit of fatigue and brain fog after drinking it. And then I was just completely back to normal from there. And I was like completely fine. Like I just went about my day normally. But I haven't even mentioned what I'm doing yet. I'm going into the city to catch up with some friends. This is the first time socializing in a very, very, very long time. Probably like since my last birthday, just December last year. That was like the last social event I went to. But anyways, after watching a whole bunch of people get arrested and hanging out for a bit, end up making my way back home and cooking up some eye fillet steak that I ate with some feta cheese. I wanted to be kind of mindful of not overeating before bed, so I only had about 350 grams of steak. versus my normal 500. I make sure not to overdo the salt, and I cook my steak rare like I like it. 7 o'clock comes and it's textbook. I have a hot shower, I do some journaling, I do some stretches, and then I get myself to sleep. Sunday morning is always a special morning because we don't have any work and it's usually the biggest day of grind. For some reason, my morning just felt really groggy to start with. I tried to kickstart myself with a bit of food and water before eventually waking myself up with another shower. After that, I found something cool to replace our focused training. Check this out. I just found this. That's a bit fast. Obviously chooses size. I ended up setting a 15-minute timer and just giving myself different levels of challenges and just getting progressively harder and harder. And this felt like it pushed me so much more than I usually do. And from here, I was ready to start warming up for Valorant. Now that I'm working on not over flicking and I feel like I have more control of my mouse, one thing that I am working on is passively aiming less and actively aiming more. Basically relying less on my movement as I just want to kill people faster. This is something that I was definitely noticing in my death matches and I just felt like I was performing so much better. If I can carry it over to my games, once again, more kills, happy days.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This Lotus game here, I feel like I really put all the puzzle pieces together and I don't know, I was really happy with it. Two more. Let's go big, go big, go big, go big. Starting off with a few really mechanically dominant rounds, I was just feeling really on with my aim, and once again, this is only our first game, so it goes to show that our warm-up routine really does put us in a really optimal space. From there, some other really notable things is obviously I'm following out util, gecko ult in this case, as well as once I am on site, I do find those mini gaps to step aside and check my minimap. In this case, this is actually the example that Dopai gave, so I think that's why it just feels really natural to do it. Not only that, but I practice this exact spot in a custom game, so maybe this is something I should be doing for all the maps. Besides crosshair placement, the other thing that I had to focus on this week was communicating a bit more with my team. Ready? 3, 2, 1, swing. Even the fact that I'm popping my dash and I'm just running out looking for a duel, like, God, coach has got to be happy with this one. It wasn't just when I was consciously aware either. It was like a subconscious trigger. It was like a trigger in my mind. When I hit that exact spot on the map, I always went back and checked the minimap. Also, this has become my new favorite way to take A main spaces jet. Coach Oscar taught us ages ago and couldn't really get it to work until recently, and I've just been loving it. Play C together if you want. I'm going to go wide and maybe you can jiggle close. Besides a bit of greed here and there and going for a bit more than I should, we absolutely smashed this game, especially on the defense half, and we ended up walking away with a beautiful match MVP win. Queuing into our second game of the day, we get Sunset, and at this point, there's nothing that can stop us. Got it, they got it. I'm backing up. Mid. Wait, 5 mid.
That's fine.
I believe that this game was a massive showcase of my crosshair placement improvements, as well as my ability to no longer overflick when I'm shooting at a target and actively aiming instead of passively aiming. The combination of these two things, I just felt so comfortable in my fights, and this was a massive driver in the headshot percentage increasing. Let's go. I'm dashing out. I'll mark it.
What?
Pushing out.
Of course.
Get out.
Whoa, out.
Just play live. After our second match MVP win of the day, I do queue into another game getting Bind, which I was excited to play as it was a map I wanted to improve on. However, we ended up having a throw and an AFK and the game ended extremely fast. For that reason, I decided not to counter and I just continued on to play another game where we got Icebox. Thankfully, this game was going completely different.
Neon's one shot.
Once again, to touch on crosshair placement, I feel like since I'm no longer just dashing out onto sight, it has forced me to improve my crosshair placement. I'm now clearing every single angle that I know I should be, and I'm doing so with intent to kill. It's a slightly slower pace, but that's honestly the exact way that I like to play. From there I go straight to the power position, and let's say it was a powerful position this time, guys. But with that, that's 3 games done, and I get straight to some exercise and editing this week's video. So we did stay Ascendant 2. So we only had a 50% win rate this week. Not as good as the last couple of weeks, but to be fair, we did have some pretty ridiculous games. We had a cheater in one, we had a couple throws, stuff like that. So this probably would have been another 64% week where we got a little bit higher, but unlucky. 43.5% headshot is pretty nuts because that's across 14. That's across 14 games. 43.5% headshot. That's not bad. The thickened cream though did actually work, and we are up. We're up 0.5 kilos. That's not bad. With that, biceps up, chest, thighs, everything's up. Brought our meditation PR back up to 30. Subscribers up to 2,642, which is pretty ridiculous. I didn't put any money away. This week I don't get paid, so I'll put money away next week when I do get paid. Saturday, I ended up getting 2.5 hours off of work. So my 20-hour contract is down to 17.5 this week, which was good. Gave me a bit of social time. I think it's worth it. However, YouTube is blocked on my phone now. I can't actually access YouTube, so I don't know what my time watched is. They don't let you check on PC, so I guess we skip out on that statistic. And one other thing I'll mention is that with the aim training, it is still 120 minutes. However, I spread it across multiple days, which made it way more effective. This was 2-hour sessions. This was 4 30-minute sessions, and you'll just learn so much more across the multiple days. Checking out some of the whoop statistics, sleep was perfect. So far since we got the whoop band and blocked everything off of my phone after 6, I feel like that's why my mechanics were getting so much better, so much faster, because I was just getting perfect sleep now, when normally it's kind of like, it's okay. Another cool one to check out is the strain, so like how hard we went physically. Thursday, Friday, I both went to the gym and worked, so I maxed out those days. Saturday was just a whole bunch of walking. Today so far, I've gone to the gym and it's still early in the day, so I'll probably end up getting about 12 or so. But it definitely goes to show how physical the work I do is, so we just have to keep that in mind as we balance out our week. Okay, I got the video done in 14.5 hours. This is an all-time record, which means I can play some Val. I'm actually just going to play my 3 games of Val now. We can go over it at the start of next video. Tomorrow, I'm going to go and spend the day with my partner. Same thing, maybe we'll get some Val games in. This is crazy. I've never finished a video so early in my life. Feels good. Feels good. Anyways, this is my week of grinding done. I'm just going to continue it anyways, but I'll see you all next week. Stay focused, stay grinding. I love you all, and that's that.